Hello everyone, in today's video let's take a look and see what it would take to render a 3D model as a wireframe in Arnold, right? So here I am in Maya. If I go to Arnold and just do a quick render, you can see that currently I don't even have any lights in the scene. It's just the 3D character in a plain environment, right? So how do I make this model show up as a beautiful Arnold render in my render view, right? So how do I do that? So to do this, what I need to do is I need to assign a special wireframe material to my model, right? So if I select the entire thing, I can right click and let's just go ahead and do assign new material. I'm gonna go to Arnold, and in here in the bottom, you can see there's something called AI wireframe. If I simply click on that, you can see that the model will now show up in my render view, even without any kind of lights in the scene, right? But one of the things you might notice is that it's currently showing up as triangles versus quads, right? And this is definitely a quad model, right? So to fix this, what I could do is I can go to my attribute editor, and in here you can see it says edge type. It's certainly is currently set to triangles. I can always switch this to polygons, and that's going to give me the quad view that I'm looking for, right? Another thing that I could do is instead of just leaving it on fill color, I can obviously change the fill color, right? But what if I wanted to make it a little more fancy? What if I wanted to add a little bit of ambient occlusion into my model? So to do that, what I could do is I can go to Arnold and go to shader. And right here in the shader, as one of the options on the very top, you can see it says AI ambient occlusion. If I simply click on that, you can see that now AI ambient occlusion was added to my model, right? And that looks much, much better. If I wanted to control the background, let's change this black background to be something else. I can go to settings and I can go to Arnold render, and in here I have environment. Under background legacy, let's go into ray switch, and once we click on ray switch, we have this camera slider that will control the color, right? So maybe I want to make it kind of gray for like a nice presentation. I can also add a gradient as well. I can do a ramp, and I can do any one of these, right? But if you want a gradient, you can use a ramp. But let's say we like this for the sake of simplicity, right? Another thing you might say, well, I like this, but maybe I want to change the thickness of my wireframe. How do I control that? If you just simply right click and go to material attributes, you can see you do have an option of line width. Maybe instead of 1, you want to switch it to 2. And now the model is going to be much thicker. Maybe instead of black lines, you want to make them, you know, kind of a dark gray, so it's a little bit softer. You could do that. So now you have ambient occlusion with thicker lines, and the lines are dark gray instead of black. If you wanted to add a shadow, like a ground shadow, we can always drop in a quick plane. Let's do that. Let's just right click and go to assign new material. Let's click on Arnold, and let's click on shader, and then let's go to something called AI shadow matte, right? Because we're using Arnold. So I'm going to click on that, and now you can see that the floor is changed its color to match the background color. So you can no longer see that kind of box. And obviously for the shadows to show up, we need some sort of lighting, right? There's no lights whatsoever. So instead of setting up Arnold lights, we don't really need to do that. All we need to do is just simply drop in even the directional light will do. So let's just drop one in. And you can see that the drop shadow is starting to show up. Very cool. Let's do something like that. That's great. If I wanted to maybe make this not so intense, right? I could always go to material attributes on my ground, and in here I can change the shadow color to anything I like. Maybe I want it to be just a little bit lighter, so something like that is much, much nicer. So very quickly you can see how we added a ground that matches our background. We added a shadow, and then we added the ambient occlusion to our model with a full control of the thickness of the frames. All right, so very quickly we added something really cool, and then we can of course decide what angle we like this on, and so on. This would be a really great way to create high quality wireframe renders to show off the topology of your 3D models when doing it for Portfolio. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you in our next one.